the YouTube here or stop the live streaming.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
The YouTube here or stop the live streaming.
Namo tassa.
That was what I was hinting at. Okay. So we will.
We're still recording.
We're still recording, so it might take some trimming. But okay, excellent. Can we begin again?
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tam Dhammam Sangam Namasami. So welcome. This is our very first Sila program. So thank you for starting to plant the seeds, and this will grow, we hope. We have one person here who's offered the meal, and it's good to see two people, Amy and Mudita. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to take part in a request that the lay people have made since the time of the Buddha. Taking the precepts, actually tomorrow is the Passaddhi day. So many people take 8 precepts on the Passaddhi day, and they just keep it for that day. But I know that keeping the 5 precepts is very essential for our development on the path. In fact, the 5 precepts are embedded in the Noble Eightfold Path. And I'll probably talk about that later, but give a better description. But they are, the path is described as Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So Sila is our ethical conduct, and the 5 precepts actually are included in the Noble Eightfold Path. And obviously the Panya, the wisdom factors, and the Samadhi factors are there as well. But I won't get into those kind of details now, because we're going to start with the precepts. And either of you wishing to take 5 precepts?
Okay, so
Amy, so we'll start with 5. I know Andrew and Mudita both have requested to take the 8. So we can do both 5 and 8. And
refuges.
well, maybe Amy could just, like in English, say that they would like to request the 5 precepts. Would you like to do that, Amy? Just say in your own words, a request.
Oh, hello, Ayas. I would, it's lovely to see you. I would like to request taking the 5 precepts, please.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And the refuges.
And
the refuges and the Buddha's Sangha, Dhamma.
Sadhu. So you'll represent those taking 5 precepts. I don't know if other people are.
There may be some on the
YouTube
channel and others watching later. So what we'll do is I will say Namo Tassa 3 times, and then you'll repeat Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
And then I will line by line do the refuges in just in Pali. So repeat each line. Bhutang saranang gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi bhutang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi bhutang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami.
Tisaranaгаminang nititang. This completes the taking of the 3 refuges.
Sadhu.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
So then we'll do the 5 precepts, and I will say the Pali, and then you can repeat the Pali and read out the English line. Are you able to see it on the screen? Excellent, great.
Yes, Ayya.
Panatipata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata varamani sikapadam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
Adina tana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana varamani sikapadam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given.
Kami sumicha chara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu michatara varamani sikapadam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct.
Musawada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada varamani sikapadam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from false and harmful speech.
Sura meraya machapamardatana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Suvaraya maya pamadatana varamani sikapadam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness.
Sadhu. Imani pancha sikapadani silena sukatimyanti silena bhogasampada silena nibutimyanti tasma silang visodaye. These are the 5 precepts. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true wealth. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Yeah, we do. Andrew's going to come a little bit closer to be able to be picked up on the mic
Why don't
better.
you kind of be to the side here? If you're just, yeah, I think. And you have a loud enough voice, I think it'll pick it up.
Mhm. And so we'll do the 8 precepts now, and maybe in future we might combine the refuges part, but
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good, yeah.
but I think for the first time, I just love hearing it. It just is so uplifting to my heart to hear it. So I don't mind a duplicate today. Andrew.
We, Venerable Sister, request the 3 refuges and 8 precepts. For a second time, we, Venerable Sister, request the 3 refuges and 8 precepts. For the third time, we, Venerable Sister, request the 3 refuges and the 8 precepts.
Sad.
So could you hear that?
Yeah, is Andrew's voice being picked up? Thumbs up from out there. Okay, yes,
Okay,
I'm getting
okay.
2 thumbs up.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
All right.
So just as before, I'll do the 3 Namo Tassa 3, and then the refuges line by line.
And if you don't mind, you could unmute yourself, Mudita, if you care to.
Yeah, welcome to, or to just have it in your space. It's up to you. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Bhutang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Bhutang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Bhutang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Ti saranagamanang nititang. This completes the taking of the 3 refuges. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And again, I'll read the Pali, and then you read the Pali and then the English. Do you want me to break the longer ones up, or are you okay?
That's okay.
All right, we'll
My
do it.
pronunciation may be off.
That is, your pronunciation in the heart is spot on. Panatipata verhamani sikapatang samadhyami.
Patiyam patang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Pranipata Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
Adinatana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Adina Dana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given.
Brahmacharya Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Brahmya Charya Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from any kind of sexual activity.
Musawada Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from false and harmful speech.
Sura Meraya Majapamadratana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Sumireya Maharaja Pamatitana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness.
Vikalabhojana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Vikachabhojana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from eating at inappropriate times.
Nacha Gita Vadita Visukatasana Mala Ganda Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusaratana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Naka Gita Vadata Vikusadana Mala Ganha
Vilepana
Vilepana Dharyana Madana Vibhusanatana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from entertainment, beautification, and adornment.
Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikapadam Samadhyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from lying on high and luxurious sleeping places.
Imaniata Sikapadani Samadhiyami.
Imanyata Sikapadana Samayaya.
And then just three times in English, yeah.
I undertake these 8 precepts. I undertake these 8 precepts. I undertake these 8 precepts.
Imani Sikapadani Silena Sukatim Yanti Silena Boga Sampada Silena Nibutim Yanti Tasma Silang Visodaye. These are the 8 precepts. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true health. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Oh, how beautiful.
So thank you so much, Ayya, and thank you for taking these precepts. This is, like they're saying, the source of true wealth and happiness and peacefulness. I've just been in the situation like at a retreat center, and I knew everybody was at least keeping 5. And when we would arrive, everybody's luggage and purses and everything were just sitting out. Oh, it was within the retreat center, but I just looked and I said, people are at ease. because they don't worry about anyone stealing. It's like they don't have to. So this is a gift we're giving to other people. If we keep these precepts well, we are offering the gift of safety. Other living beings too, if we're keeping the first precept of not harming, I think that the animals even start to be at ease around us. I think they can sense that someone is not harming, and they have a heart. Not only are we not harming, but we're cultivating a heart of loving kindness. So this is like the first aspect of Sila is restraint from causing harm. So for instance, the first precept, not killing, not harming any other living being. But then we cultivate a heart that's caring. We cultivate a heart that it's loving, compassionate. These things are opposites of the harmful aspects that we're restraining from. We've kind of made a level ground. It's kind of like tilling the soil or something and make the ground level. And then you start planting the seeds of the wholesome in the ground. So so you refrain from harming, and then refraining from stealing. If you are not stealing, you would steal. The Buddha talked to the Kalamas. He was talking about, what do you think is greed, hate, and delusion? Are these for your welfare and benefit? And what did the Kalamas say?
No, sir. They're not.
They're not for your welfare. So out of greed, hate, and delusion, people kill, steal, lie. They transgress with another person's partner. So these are harmful activities. So the opposite of greed, hate, and delusion, this is not non-greed, which is contentment or generosity, and non-hate. And this is both compassion and loving kindness or metta. So if we're like we've cleared the weeds and everything out of the field, then these wholesome qualities can grow. And then the non-delusion is wisdom. So if we've given up delusion, this is helping to give rise to wisdom. And then also if we are cultivating kindness, generosity, and wisdom, then the weeds don't have a chance to grow. So this is the beauty of these precepts, is it works both ways, both in cultivating the non-harming, the eradication of the harmful aspects, and then bringing up thoughts of loving kindness, thoughts and action through body, speech, and mind. So it's not just through body, speech, and mind. We are cultivating good and safety in the world, that people can feel at ease around us. And there's also in a world where people are harmful and dishonest and cruel, we can be this presence. We can be a good example, and we can show that there's other ways of being in the world, and the happiness that comes from our keeping the Sila. And people will notice you as something special or different in the world. I've had, even in a lay life, when I was keeping my Sila really well, and I was cultivating loving kindness internally, and I was meditating. When I was at the workplace, people would comment, "Oh, there's something different about me," and then that I could be happy without going out and having a drink. I didn't need that kind of thing for my happiness. I could just be at ease and happy without intoxicants. I could be, and I could be trusted too, that if I was speaking, I was telling the truth. So to be that kind of a presence in the world is a real gift for everyone, including ourselves, especially ourselves, since it's our own source of happiness to keep these precepts. Something was occurring to me, now it's escaping my but in this line. But the ethical conduct appears frequently in the suttas, and for the monastics, it's very detailed and laid out. And for the lay people, it's in the Digha Nikaya. There's some details how these precepts are to be kept, and also within the Noble Eightfold Path, the precepts are embedded. So, so of course, there's like through body, speech, and mind. So when we start with right understanding or right view, there's the mundane, so-called, or I like to call it foundational right view, where our view is that there is the skillful and unskillful actions through body, speech, and mind. There's that understanding that there is karma from what we do. So this is in the right view. In Majjhima Nikaya 9, Sariputta talks about this, where and it is through greed, hate, and delusion, people act unskillfully, and they break their precepts. And so as opposed to that, we take these precepts, we have this intention to keep them, and we understand, okay, the harm that comes from acting out of greed, hate, and delusion causes us to break the precepts. So so the understanding, the basic understanding of the wholesome and unwholesome, or the skillful and unskillful, that's right, the mundane or foundational right view, where all the other precepts start to spring from that. You have then you have right intention, which is the intention for renunciation, non-harming, and non-ill will. So these are the three aspects of right intention. So right there you have non-harming, and renunciation would be on the side of non-greed. So then out of renunciation, we would restrain from taking more than we should, whether it's stealing or not, taking more for ourselves than we actually need. So renunciation can be putting on these robes and shaving, not eating after a certain time of day, but also could be moderation, acting out of moderation, and just caring for ourselves well, but just with what we need. The Buddha did not advocate that we neglect ourselves. In fact, there's this one sutta, this one man who was childless, and he was wearing coarse cloth, and he was riding around in a really old cart, and he had all this gold bullion hidden, stashed away, and he didn't spend it on himself or help anybody else. So the Buddha criticized them. He says, the king is just going to take that money, the wealth. He died like a poor man, but just he never made use of his wealth. So this kind of renunciation can be, I would say, doing things in moderation, caring for ourselves well, caring for others well, being, generous to what is. Also generosity, just to within our means, maybe we go a little bit, stretch a little bit, but we don't neglect ourselves. We care for ourselves. And this is the important part of our development, is just learning that discernment. We have this tendency, human beings have a tendency to go to one extreme or another. It's either overindulgence or starving themselves or something like that. But we don't have to go to those extremes. We have to, this is where wisdom comes in, or to be wise, to know just the right amount. What is just enough, enough to care for ourselves well. So this is a form. I like to stretch the idea of renunciation into moderation, because so that people don't go to the extremes that are unnecessary. And then, of course, non-harming is right there with the panatipata, where I'm refraining from harming any living creature, and non-ill will. This protects our own hearts when we have loving kindness as opposed to hatred. I know whenever I start, politics trigger me. I have this old habit from being an old activist back in the day. And then I hear, how harm is happening because of political situations. And then it's just like, I start getting, the mother bear starts coming out in me, and I'm just really started. And I think somehow that there's this thing that's my duty to be angry. And it's not going to help me. I feel in my heart, it's just like, oh, it feels so yucky inside it's painful when I start getting angry. But if my anger could change things for the better, then yeah. But since it doesn't, what's the point? So also, if we react angrily towards somebody who's doing something, that if we have direct contact with somebody and then we react out of anger at something they're doing, they're not as likely to listen to us. So how can we diplomatically speak to another person? How can we speak out of kindness? How can we speak at the right time? This is coming into samma vaca, right speech, which so not only do we refrain from lying, from false and harmful speech, we should refrain from. So how can we speak in a way that's honest, timely, gently, out of a heart of loving kindness? If we really sincerely care about the other person, even if they don't want to listen to us. I heard somebody just today saying that a teacher told them something and they didn't get it for 6 years, and now they're getting it. So it's like, it may be seeming like people don't hear us, but maybe eventually they will, if we approach them honestly, kindly, gently, or maybe directly, but at the right time. Sometimes you have to really be direct about something, but to choose the time, a good time to do that. So that's right speech, to speak gently, kindly, honestly, timely, with a heart of loving kindness. Anything else?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I think I've got all the points with that. Speech is very complicated, and this often the one that a useless speech. That's it. To
There you go.
refrain from useless speech. I knew there was something missing. This is something all of us might indulge in from time to time. But so speaking of something that's actually useful and beneficial is really important. And then the samakamanto, right action, is actually refraining from killing, refraining from stealing, and refraining from any kind of sexual misconduct. So there's the precepts right there. And then there's right livelihood. If we have a kind of right livelihood that doesn't break any of the precepts, hooray! We would hope everyone would have that kind of livelihood. And I know it's really challenging for many people because some of the jobs, even their employer is asking them. I've heard people saying that kind of misrepresenting their product or their service or something in order to get clients. This is a real difficulty with the livelihood, to try to be honest, try to do something that's non-harming. Even when I worked in the hospital, I was aware of so much waste in the hospital. I felt, I mean, I wasn't directly responsible for that, but I would, it was just part of the course where we threw out so much, just so much disposable stuff. So I was concerned about, I mean, I wasn't directly hurting anybody. It was of the various livelihoods people can have, it's probably one of the on the better scale of the right livelihoods. But yeah, living in samsara, it's hard to completely be without any kind of harm. So we do our best. We do our best to live without harm. So if we can have at least keeping our precepts for our livelihood, that this is the best. Then right effort is supportive of our precepts because we have we try to abandon. We'll first guard against any unwholesome states of mind as much as we can, which will protect our speech. And internal speech is part of right speech. Vacha is internal as well as external. So how we speak to ourselves in our minds. So we guard against unwholesome mental states or thoughts, and we abandon as soon as we see harmful mental states arising. Still, for me, anger comes up, and try to catch it before it comes out in speech. I haven't acted out of anger. Maybe putting something down. I and Yannicka sometimes jumps if I put something down really hard, boom, and I'm not intending to go.
I don't feel like you're trying to throw anger at me. It's just the way you sound.
So how I'm, but anyway, so if I'm rushing around, this is also like the mental attitude too, and then I'm not careful and I shut the door loud or set something down hard or something like that. Yeah, we can be more sensitive to other people. So this comes from the mind. So if I see aggravation or anger or something, as soon as we can catch it, we can let it go. And try to be maintaining thoughts of loving kindness. This also protects against unwholesome states, but we're starting to bring up the wholesome. This is part of the right effort to bring up the wholesome develop it and bringing it to fulfillment. So this is our right effort. And that also supports not only through our actions through the day, our meditation. So then we're developing right mindfulness. This is the next path factor. The right mindfulness and effort work together, like just being mindful through the day and just really aware of the thoughts, really aware of the actions, bringing awareness to everything, being present with what we're doing, fully present. So then when we come to the cushion and bring our body to stillness, then the mind can come to stillness more readily. So this is our Samma Samadhi. Samma Samadhi is described as the jhanas, but we have some degree of samadhi. If we have the mind is calm, the mind is peaceful, the mind is moving towards quietude. You have moments of quietude and staying with the breath or whatever object keeps expanding, settling. The mind and the body both settle and become peaceful. And this it can't be done without our Sila, coming back to our Sila. So this all is mutually supportive. The path is like this, the Buddha describes it as a raft. So you can imagine this, how the raft is constructed, and you have to have the poles that go, the vertical and the horizontal poles work together in order to make that raft really sturdy. So we can't neglect any aspect of the path. And so this is our Sila Samadhi Panya raft. It's carrying us to Nibbana. So I offer this for your reflection, and I can open it up.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu.
So this is the impromptu Sila, first Sila Sunday talk, and we can open it up to questions or comments.
I'll start with a comment. I appreciate going through the path factors, and there is something about when living together, that what we're putting out into the environment, but also as the recipient. I mean, there's plenty of things that I'm working on too. So as the recipient of me messing up, and then me trying to correct that for myself. But there's also for the example of the loud door or whatever. Sure, I have a body response that happens, but if I can notice that and then make sure my heart is landing in love. So just because I hear a loud sound doesn't mean I have to make assumptions about the emotive tone behind it, nor do I need to make assumptions about how it should be in the world or all of those things. If I can maintain my inner peace, and if I can cultivate it when it falls or drops, then that's my walking of the path. And that's when we walk the path together, we're walking it individually and interdependently, but we're responsible for our own path practice. So this is how we do it, individually and together. That's why we've got Sangha, and that's why we have our internal Sila, both to nourish ourselves and to really be safe. I love that phrase, that that we're safe in the world. We bring safety into the world. So other comments or questions in the room or external to the room?
You can unmute yourself. Thank you.
Oh, there's some background noise actually. Can you hear the background noise or is it okay?
It's okay.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying, Ayya, about expectations just now with the noise, in response to the noise. Yeah, check your expectations kind of thing. Yeah, that's something I've been working with, trying to actually be consistent about working with that, because that I have found is a very direct path to wrong speech. Yeah, after some observing of, when those feelings of irritation come up and the wrong speech follows very quickly, it's that going back, I don't know if it's Yonis or Manasakara, but like just kind of always going back to what led to that. The idea of always carrying around a set of expectations of how everything should be. Well, that's what I've discovered in myself. Like, wow, what a huge manual. How did I know? It's
Right.
been really wonderful to work with. If you have anything more to say about that, love to hear it.
Do you want to start?
Expectations. Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, it's many lifetimes, maybe even. But yeah, we're a product of our conditioning, and to see that conditioning, I think bringing the awareness to it. I mean, we can't read a whole manual all at once, but when we see, oh, this is item 17.3 or something in the manual of 657 or something, we say, oh, okay, I can see that. And a lot of times there's this weave, like I was talking about politics. And part of me is like, I'm just astonished. How can people feel this way or think this way or be motivated this way? It's just like this expectation that people would be kind and generous. This sounds kind of naive in the samsara, it's just like I have to remind myself, oh, this is samsara, isn't it? This is we're in samsara. So there are people that feel this way, that seems so like, how can they possibly believe this, think this, be motivated by this, think that it's okay, whatever. So, but it is, they're all very intertwined. Like there's all these, every time I'm astonished by something else that's going on, like, and so I have to take care of my own heart. Okay, I don't have to feel hatred in response. I don't have to, or I see, oh, I see the anger coming up. I see that. And then I'm aware, bringing my awareness to that anger, like I was saying, how icky or uncomfortable it feels to be taking this stance. I have this stance, and it's there's some kind of illusion of rigidity, like it's like this really solid something or other there, this how it's supposed to be, how people are supposed to behave. Person of this particular position is supposed to be this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it's just, and it feels like this really solid piece of mesh, like I don't know if anyone's been in prison, but when the window, there's this mesh that's really thick and impenetrable, but it's not, it's my mind. So I can see through it, and then it also can unravel. And just like you were saying, the Yoniso Manasikara, where is this coming from? This social conditioning and this belief, and I think in order to be a good person in the world, I'm supposed to be outraged.
Yeah.
And it's not true. But somehow, yeah. So then, when the more you look at it, the more it starts to unravel. So I think what you're saying about Yoniso Manasikara, and it's just going to keep. They're just like the book will open up on different pages every day. Your manual is gonna, the wind will blow it open to yet another page, and you go, oh my goodness. And just, yeah, that light of awareness, shining that light of awareness and saying, yeah, I can see through the grid, but it's not, I'm not in a prison. In fact, I see that grid in front of me and I can walk away from it. I don't have to just be pushing myself against it or trying to get through it. I can just, this is old news. I don't need it. So sometimes it takes a while to unravel it or to figure out that we can just turn and walk away. The door is open. There's some metaphor about a tiger, and they think they're in a cage, and there's this cage there, and the people are on the other side of the cage banging on the cage, and the tiger can growl and jump at the people. But if the tiger just looks around and looks, the forest is behind him or her, I can walk away. I don't have to put myself against those bars. I can turn, but sometimes it takes a long time to be able to let go, just to either remind ourselves or to look over our shoulder and say, oh, there's another direction I can head. I don't have to keep banging myself against that mesh or those bars, So I hope that's helpful.
Follow up? Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Ayya. Yeah, as you were speaking, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's a bag of views. That's what that manual is.
Yes, it is.
It's a bag of views. And I can't remember the whole, anyway, a part of a sutta where it says, whatever we conceive, it will be otherwise. Seems kind of applicable here as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Do you want to talk about also the Chunky Sutta?
You
That's
could
it?
go
Yes.
ahead.
Well, can you remind me of the phrase from it? It's
What people have a belief of something. A lot of times people they have a strong view about something and they say, this is true. Everything else is false. But the actual thing to be said is about this is what I understand. This is what I believe. This is my understanding. So rather than being really rigid, to say that to me, this is my understanding of it. This is how I believe. This is.
Yeah, thank you. I knew you would have the much more exact quote
Yes,
for
it's
that.
not exact quote,
but closer than I was able to pull up. But so that sutta brings into the rigidity we're talking about. And I think that, probably all of us here have done some loving kindness practices where it's the unbounded quality, so radiating in all directions. And if we're in that state, so if we do the metta practice so that we're cultivating, so that when we get into bound up situations, we remember how to be unbound. So I definitely, for myself, I try to do daily metta practice of some sort, and throughout the day, but a formal practice too, where I'm in that state of unbounded, where there's a soft but stable steadiness, where I can hold. I'm like the pillar that is unwavering, but I'm not rigid. I'm like the bamboo. I'm open, I'm spacious. And then if I enter a situation where that mesh, the bars, that whatever in my own mind or in the world, or a view comes up, I can start to notice that I have left that unbounded state. I'm bound now. I'm now bound. I'm imprisoned. And so if I do have a view that might be helpful, even then, I don't weave it so tightly that I'm binding myself and others. I don't hold it so fixedly. It's like we've got all the suttas, there's our manual. But even there, it's like I read the passage, I feel it, I feel how I'm enacting that in the world. And if the rigidity comes in, or I smallify, or I get angry, I can feel it, what my responsiveness is. If there's a momentary startle, and then I feel the getting small, getting tight, I breathe, I let go, I come back to my heart. Yes, come back to my heart, and that radiant quality, the openness, then I can still have a view that I'm acting on. I'm acting on the view that the Eightfold Path works, but I'm not holding it in a rigid and strangling way. And that way I'm not harming others and I'm not harming myself. Yeah.
So the Chaki Sutta talks about what before we've actually we've actualized the path,
For
realized
true realization. Yeah.
but we have enough information to know that this is
Wholesome.
helping us. This is
Mhm.
and we have enough confidence to know this is the way. But until we're really established in that truth, then this is my understanding. And then it doesn't, I guess part of the problem is that we want to convince others. That is a problem. If people don't agree with us.
Mhm.
And so then we're creating a problem for ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So don't weave the mesh of prison.
that's the prison, is that trying to convince others. But until we're established in the truth, we preserve the truth by saying this is my understanding of this is, and the view is so-called mundane right view, because we haven't fully realized the truth.
Mhm.
But
And-
once it gets to there's still factors on the path, so we're still working the path.
Mhm. And that fully realized one, then you'll read in the suttas, and they roared their lion's roar. And so there is a place for that, but I can really guarantee that their hearts, not because I've experienced it, but I can really guarantee, based on the Buddha's words, that when they roared that lion's roar, there was no animosity. There was no tightness, there was no prison. Yeah.
So we can be faithful to the truth.
Sadhu.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a question or a comment or?
I like you use the word confidence. Ajahn Brahma uses confidence all the time.
Confidence. Yeah. Confidence for sada.
Confidence in the Buddha,
Mhm.
confidence in the Dhamma, and
Mhm.
confidence in Sangha.
Mhm. Mhm.
Could
Yeah.
you hear that? Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay. It's hard to know with the angle of we don't have a external mic, so.
Yeah, we're over the next months, we'll work on our tech setup, but we'll just keep doing sound checks until then.
Amy, are you in Toronto?
I am.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you've got an international group today.
Yeah, that's great. So this timing is working well for the East Coast, so.
Yes, your Tuesday programming could work as well, but I have a standing obligation every week that happens to fall at that time. And I noticed in your recent newsletter that you have these Sila days as well. So I'm so pleased to be able to join you.
That's great, yeah. We're gonna do it twice a month and just see how it develops if we.
Yeah.
We could increase it, but for now we're doing it twice a month just because of our energy level and.
Yeah, we're really this is about balance too. We're really working with what is the right level of interaction and offering, and so that we're doing the full picture of bhavana for the monastics, as well as the growth of the community. So we're not leaving the monastics out of our development puzzle.
It's been a joy to watch through the newsletters, really, like how you've endeavored to find that balance. Like you've incrementally added things. It's been really beautiful to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been saying, oh, and we reserve the right to stop offering that if it isn't mutually, so we're not locking ourselves or any people coming to things. We're not locking anyone into something. It's a matter of what is going to be mutually nourishing. And it feels really good, at least for me.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so we're taking a little bit at a time, increasing a little. Seems like suddenly we're taking on more, but it's actually not that much. So
Yeah, came out of winter retreat, so it always seems like it's a bit more. And we're going to bracket the Vasa with retreat time for each of us. So we're just really focused on that balance. Yeah.
Well, your priority is bhavana, as it should be. So I really want to just express my support for that.
thank you. Yeah. I think the more that we develop, the more we can offer others too.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's kind of empty ritual and
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that goes for the lay supporters too. The more you develop, the more you can offer in all aspects of your life. It's just very, very important that we not neglect bhavana development. We could have a little more conversation time, or do we want to do a chant, or?
We could close unless Mudita, did you have anything, a question or anything you could put in a chat or? Maybe another time.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, well, that's it. Just listening. Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. So we'll end now with the homage to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantam Abhivadimi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. I'm going to just close the YouTube. So where is it?
Let's go down to the more.